Hey people of the internet! Today I'm going to tell you a story about the man who would make Gatsby look like a homeless person. This hat-wearing, umbrella-bearing gentlemanliness commanded the 2nd Battalion's A Company of the British Parachute Regiment in the World War II. This man's ultimate chadness on the battlefield would even send James Bond hunting for a codpiece. Major Digby Tatham Water was given the task to capture the Arnhem Bridge and hold it until the reinforcement arrived. Capturing this bridge would prove to be a crazy strategic advantage. Have you heard of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Where the dude talks that you need food, water and a house first. Then you need security so that no one takes this food and water away from you. And then you need a body to lick this food and water off of. Then you need to feel like you're the man. And finally you join a cult. Similarly, there is my line of lame leaders, where I rank bosses on the scale from lame to lame. The first ones are like teachers, they want you to respect them solely because they're your bosses. And the second ones are like that toxic friend who really needs you to do something for them all the time because they're your friend. Yes, Arnold, I'm talking about you, Arnold. And finally are the badass bosses. They exist out of my line of lame leaders. Now this is the kind of boss our man Digby was. Whoa, that was a long segue. So, Digby somehow got his hands on an American Dakota aircraft and he flew his entire crew from their army base in Lincolnshire to Ritz-Carlton in London for a night of liquid courage with his boys. Like any man of intellect, Digby distrusted technology. Despite radios being pretty common by World War II, he trained his men with bugle calls, the kind that were used during the Napoleonic Wars. What is this beep beep boop boop apparatus you carry with you? Only boys go beep beep boop boop, men go. The A Company did a great job on the field. The streets of Arnhem had German armoured vehicles patrolling them. So what did our boy Digby do, you ask? He took the men from behind the buildings, like the famous Chinese proverb, the back door is the better door. While his men fought with all their arms, Digby was calm, strolling through the defences without any fear of harm. Sometime later in life, Digby told that he could never remember any of the army passwords, and it would be quite obvious to anyone that the bloody fool carrying the umbrella could only be an Englishman. Wasn't this man chadder than the chadest chatting on Reddit right now? In the World War II, most battalions had a priest called the military chaplain who did things like told the soldiers that the God was on their side, helped people in the hospitals, performed religious duties. You get the idea. The father in Digby's battalion was trying to cross the road and go to the building across the road to help with the injured soldiers, but he just couldn't due to the heavy gunfire around him. Our man Digby saw that and decided to help. Hey Poppy Popsicle! Come under it! Don't worry, holy man, I got an umbrella. It won't do you much good. The heck, dude? What if it rains? Now your small peepee brain would be like, so he just carried the umbrella for the dopeness it added to his persona? Oh, no. He used the umbrella as a wobbly, wacky weapon. He once impaled the driver of a German armored truck by pushing his trusted umbrella through the observational slit in the vehicle and making it as useful as a pair of wet socks. The reinforcements promised to show up at the bridge was as reliable as a YouTuber promising a regular upload schedule. And just like their next video, that never happened. Our boy Digby and most of his battalion was captured by the Germans. Digby was sent to the St. Elizabeth Hospital as he was pretty wounded by this point. In less than 12 hours of him being at the hospital, Digby with his second-in-command Captain Tony Frank made a plan to escape this capture. They waited for the German nurses to pass out, escaped to the hospital window, made a compass using the buttons from Digby's blazer, and connected with the Dutch resistance. Digby soon learned that his chadness had rubbed onto many of his fellow men, who had awaited capture or had escaped, and the local resistance was struggling to hide all of them from the enemy. So Digby sketched out a plan to assemble all his men, arrange some weapons with the help of the British intelligence, and aid the local Dutch resistance against the German attack. He was given a haircut, a new identity, and he pretended to be a deaf and mute son of a lawyer. Digby walked around in broad daylight, and despite the large number of troops present in the area, his no-fricks-given attitude helped him from being recognized by the enemy. He was once stopped to help push a German car out of the ditch, and even then he wasn't recognized. British intelligence informed Digby that his request for weapons could not be processed under the current hostile conditions. So he just understood that him and his men had to escape from the enemy territory back to their home territory and do that without any weapons. This operation was called Operation Pegasus, and much like everything that our man did, this was a huge success as well. All the 138 men who set up to cross Rhine did it in one piece with a 100% success rate. For his efforts in the war in the Operation Pegasus, our man Digby Tatham Water was awarded the Distinguished Service Order. This man just goes on to show that with a ton of courage and a little bit of pizzazz, you can accomplish anything you want. Thank you.